Today I am coming with some sad breaking news. Fun Spa Atlanta is closing permanently after August 2nd, 2026. In this quick news update, I will explain why this is happening and speculate on the future of ArieForce One. First, I need to delve into the history of this plot of land. This park opened back in 1990 as Dixieland Fun Park. Originally, the park had the usual FEC offerings such as go-kart tracks, miniature golf, and arcade games, but they started to dip their toes into traditional amusement rides in the 2000s. In 2012, the park was rebranded as Fun Junction USA. Fun Spa America purchased the property. The park was rebranded as Fun Spa Atlanta. Then 2023, the park received an RMC hybrid coaster and ArieForce One. This was a bold gamble and a case study. What would happen if a world-class roller coaster was plopped into a minimally attended FEC? I think we now know the answer. FunSpot hoped that ArieForce One would draw guests into their Atlanta park. It drew enthusiasts, as several would show up at the park daily essentially for exclusive ride time, or ERT. But that was not sustainable. The park was never able to increase its low attendance from the Dixieland or Fun Junction days. Guests loved ArieForce One, but the rest of the park was underwhelming relative to that ride. The park struggled to get customers, and if they did get a customer, they struggled to get repeat visitors. Rather than organically building themselves up and then adding the standout ride, which is what most parks do, FunSpot sort of cheated and skipped ahead adding the signature ride, but the crowds never came. That is why FunSpot Atlanta is closing permanently after August 2nd. This allows FunSpot to focus on their busier, more profitable parks in Florida. I am thankful that FunSpot made this announcement in advance, so people still have a chance to visit this park, whether it be for re-rides or a first-time visit. What will happen to this site? I suspect it'll no longer operate as a theme park or FEC. If a multi-level go-kart track and a massive roller coaster from the FunSpot era couldn't save this park, then there probably is not a ride out there that'll draw people in. What will happen to the current rides? Some of the smaller flats could easily be relocated to the Orlando or Kissimmee locations. As for the coasters, that's where it gets more complicated. I will start with the Sea Serpent Kiddie Coaster. The two Florida parks already have a similar Miler Kiddie Coaster of the same name, so it would be redundant there. I think this ride will be purchased by another small park or FEC. Hurricane is a larger Miler coaster. It has the stats of a family coaster, but it has some shockingly good airtime. This ride would not make sense at Kissimmee, because they already have a similar Miler also named Hurricane. But the ride could work at the Orlando park if they eat up some of their parking lot. If FunSpot chooses to sell the ride, I could see Gene Staples snatching it up for the nearby Lake Winnie. Gene Staples loves used coasters, and that park is just up the road, so the relocation expenses could be manageable. ArieForce One is where things get very interesting. Nearly everyone agrees this is an exceptional roller coaster jam-packed with ejector airtime and wild inversions. However, this will be a tricky ride to move. It is massive, and the layout is oddly shaped, essentially forming a giant S. I played around with Google Earth. This hypothetically could fit into the parking lot at Kissimmee or Orlando if, and this is a big if, part of the ride could cross over a road. That would probably be difficult to get permission to do though. It is also worth noting that ArieForce One was supposedly installed at the Atlanta park because they did not have room for a ride that scale at the Florida parks. If FunSpot chooses not to relocate ArieForce One themselves, would another park want to buy it? I sure hope so. My pipe dream would be Wild Adventures. This is a nice park nearby, and they are in dire need of a signature roller coaster after Cheetah's removal, and I believe they have enough land to fit the layout, especially if they're able to reconfigure some of their animal exhibits or the parking lot. I know Herschend has had some issues with RMC in the past, but they keep going back to them, so it seems like they enjoy working with that manufacturer. A long-distance relocation could be less likely due to the costs involved. At that point, it may make more financial sense for a park just to build a ground-up coaster instead. It is sad to hear that FunSpot Atlanta and ArieForce One are closing, but I am not surprised given the low attendance in all my visits. I am just appreciative they warned us so people can get their last rides in. Those are my thoughts on the closure of Fun Spa Atlanta and what could happen next, particularly around ArieForce One. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed this news update, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.